Why does it feel as if we give better advice to a friend, our best friend, a family member, just literally anyone else but ourselves? We give ourselves the worst advice. We are critical of ourselves the most. We critique ourselves the most. We do different things just because it's us as opposed to someone else. So the purpose of this video today is a trick that I use to kind of figure out what I'm doing or just how to solve things, whether it be difficult, uncomfortable, or I just don't really know what to do. And that coincides with the first point I made is, why do we give better advice to others than to ourselves? So this trick that I use might help you, might not, but I think it will. Um, Essentially, whenever I'm in a tough situation, like today, for example, I had a couple of interviews, and when you have interviews for certain things, you get nervous, like because you're just planning, you're preparing, you're getting ready, making sure everything you say is on point. You don't want to fuck up anything you say, and just make sure you have all the information that you need, because like something might out of left field might come. Um, so in this interview, or before the interview, it was just the common nerves that you get just before speaking to like someone new, and just telling them about yourself without sounding like conceited, cocky, or anything. And yeah, in that particular moment for that situation, I viewed myself as if I were looking at myself in the third person. So I viewed myself as if I were someone else looking at myself. And put myself in the shoes of pretty much my best friend. So my best friend, what advice would my best friend give me right now? But I just applied that to myself. So essentially, the things my best friend would say: you prepared, you did all the research you need to, you're just overthinking, relax, chill out. Like there's no more research you need to do. The last 5 minutes that you're cramming isn't going to do anything for you. Pretty much what someone would say to you, or what you would say to your best friend. What advice would you give your best friend that's about to give a presentation? What advice would you give your best friend if they were about to have a game or important match, or anything like that? How would you talk to that person from the outside looking in? And that's what's helped me, at least, viewing myself as if I'm on the outside and I'm looking in. I'm the observer. I don't know if you've ever read the book or heard of the book Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Essentially, he's one part of the book is he's describing how thoughts are like clouds in your mind, and the blue sky is just like your brain, I guess, and the clouds are the thoughts. So say you're just chilling on the grass, kick back, relaxing. Your thoughts are passing by, and you're not the thought. You're looking at the thought. You're observing the thought as it passes by, but you're not engaging with it. It just is what it is, and then it goes by. So I took that principle and I applied it to any given situation. It can apply to thoughts, it can apply to literally anything. But whenever I'm in a tough situation, I especially before an event or before a big moment. This is usually when it happens to me, at least. I I look at it as if I'm looking at myself. And when you do that, you look at yourself more objectively. You don't Emotions aren't involved in the decision making, so you have a big choice you have to make. There's no emotion involved, because if you're looking from the outside looking in, It's not you. You're detached from the outcome. You're detached from the actual emotions. Because say if your friend were making a tough decision on whether he should take this job or whether he should go down this path or that path, if you were telling your friend something similar to that, would you personally have emotion towards whatever decision he made or she made? No, because you're viewing it objectively. So as opposed to you viewing it as yourself, you viewing it in the first person, take a third person POV to yourself, detach from yourself when you're making a decision, when you have something big coming up, when you just have anything that you're worried about. Because 9 times out of 10, if it's presentation, test, game, anything, literally can be anything, you're prepared. You're prepared for it. You're ready. But you just need that validation to let you know that you're prepared. So view yourself from the third person. View yourself as if your friend were telling you something. That helps me a lot in just viewing yourself in the objective mindset. So one tip, especially with this concept of the third person POV that you can use, is instead of saying I'm stressed or I have a difficult situation ahead of me, you can say replace the I with you. Instead of saying I'm stressed, again with the third person POV, that third person or that friend would say, you've dealt with difficult things in the past before. You're okay. You'll be fine. You will be able to handle this situation. And another thing that I do, especially just with this YouTube or just creating YouTube videos, is I create videos as if the person talking, so as if the video, me right now, is talking to my past self. So my future self, the person talking to the camera right now, is talking to myself currently, and myself currently is the viewer. So when I do this, it kind of helps me just think more, just get detached from whatever situation I'm stuck in. So, as I mentioned earlier, I had to make some big decisions today. So when I talk it out, and we can write it out. For me, I like to talk it out into video, post those videos, and hopefully help at least one person. But when I talk out how I feel or how I'm going to feel, or just any situation I'm going through, I talk it out as me, the future self, talking to me, current self, the viewer. It helps me just evaluate the situation in a different way, and it's a form of journaling. It's a form of journaling, and I think journaling, writing out your thoughts, speaking out your thoughts, and just or talking to someone is the best way to do it, as opposed to you being cooped up with all that whatever anger, knowledge, information. If you want to say it, if you don't have anyone to say it to, you could say it on camera. You could do a little voice note on the iPhone. You can do things like that. But view yourself objectively and just journal it. Journal whatever you're feeling. Be your own therapist. You don't need to go to therapy. I mean, it helps. If that's what you need to do, you can do that. My therapy is running, ice baths, and then this talking as if I'm talking to myself, my current self, talking as my future self to my past self. And another point with the self-talk from the third person, when we are giving advice to friends, say your friend is like fucked up on something and they're like, I feel like a failure, I feel like a bum, like, what am I doing with my life? You, looking at them, would say, you would be empathetic. You would say, look at how far you came. Look at all you accomplished. Just look at your life. Look at all the good things in your life. Look at your strengths. Look at what you've done. Look behind you and look at what you've created. Look at all those things. Look at the gold that you've created by touching it. We're more empathetic to others than we are to ourselves. So when you relay that empathy as a third person POV to yourself, we're more compassionate and we're not as hard on ourselves as if we would be to someone else. Say if they failed or they didn't achieve something that they wanted to, you wouldn't just shit on them. You wouldn't say you wouldn't just talk down on them. You would provide words of confidence, words of wisdom, words of just advice in general. You'd want to bring them up. So apply those things to yourself. Talk to yourself that way. We tend to be more critical when we fuck up or when we fail, when we feel like we haven't done something right. We're quick to just self-destruct or just destroy our own confidence. That's where it starts internally. We're so quick to just tear ourselves down. And I'm not saying with the third person POV, like it's just a method that I use. You don't need to have someone cheer you up all the time because that person's not going to be there to do that. And you don't need anything externally to give you validation, to bring you joy, or just help you out. Everything you need is already in you. This is just a tip that you can use because I'm just trying to relate how we give advice better to others than we do to ourselves. So view yourself as you're looking at yourself. Another example that a lot of us might face is procrastination, whether you have a task, assignment, homework assignment, trying to create a YouTube video, or just trying to create something, do something, have something you need to do, and something you need to bang out. When we procrastinate, if your friend were to procrastinate, you would tell them, just do 5 minutes now, or do a little bit now, and then you could go chill, go play some Xbox, do all that good stuff. But if it was us talking to ourselves, like the normal way we do it, we'd be like, I'm gonna play Xbox now, and then later we can work on that assignment. But think of it as like your mom, like telling you to go do something. She'll be like, yes, do a little bit now. We can have a little nice dinner, and you can do a little bit after that. And then you probably would do it. I don't know how your mom talks, but you get the point I'm trying to make here. View yourself in the third person, or this is another tip. Last example that I use, and it coincides with because I like to trade stocks, day trade, swing trade. I don't know if you watching is familiar with that stuff, but if you are, you understand. So when I'm trading, I view it. You have to view the market, the stock market, the charts as objectively as possible. You have to take all your emotion out of it. Because once you're an emotional trader, you're a shitty trader. Because if it goes up 20 cents and then you're shook regardless of which way you go, whether it's for the better, for the worse, if you're so emotional, like, oh, let's go, we're making this bread, or like, fuck, like I'm down so much, you already lost. You have to get your emotion out of, for me, that'd be trading. So whatever that is for you, whether it's poker or whether it's your job, whatever your job is, take your emotion out of it. But for me with trading, you have to view the charts as objectively as possible, because the charts don't owe you anything. They don't owe you shit. That you have to look at the chart as it is what it is, and you got to make your money where you can make it. You think the chart, the lines that you're looking at, gives a fuck if you bought or sold that particular stock? No, it's just you're looking at the lines as objectively as you can, and then from there, that's where you decide to make your place your buys, sells, whether you want to do options, calls, puts, all that good stuff. But that's topic for a different day. The point is, you have to be emotionally detached from the outcome. You have to just look at the chart, in my case, or the situation from a perspective that's detached from your own. You have to look at it from the POV of someone else. Look at it as objectively as possible. And it's hard, obviously, to do that because we're all human. We all have opinions. We all have emotions. We all have this and that. It's normal to have some sort of sway one way or another, have some sort of input based on our experiences, based on who we are as a person. And we're going to have some input. But the point of this video is to, whatever situation in life that you have, whatever difficulty, you have something big coming up, just life in general, view it as objectively as you can. Remove emotions from it, because when you make emotional decisions, they're usually the worst decisions. And with boxing, which I box as well, you can't be an emotional fighter. You can't fight with emotions, because then you're a bad fighter. You can't fight angry. You have to fight as cool and as stoic as possible. But yeah, let me cut it here. I feel like I rambled for a little bit, but I'm gonna start doing these videos in the car, because I feel like that's when the juices are flowing a little bit better. I don't know, for some reason when I'm like in the car or when I'm driving, that's when the best ideas come about. So I'm gonna be dropping more videos just in the car and just going from there. But let me know what you think. View yourself from the third person POV when you're facing an upcoming problem or a problem that's going on right now. And let me know in the comments below what you think. And I promise you, it will change how you view everything. Peace.